Top of the morning, man. Today a good day. I think I wore the wrong sweats, so I think I'm gonna lift. But I really wanted to do like a hit cardio session, of squats, push-up, and burpee. But I don't think I'll be able to do that. So we just gonna lock in, do just a little arm and see. Speaking of that shit though, I didn't want to find comfortable compression boxes. Like they not overly tight to the point they not about to stop my circulation, and they not too like that silky material. It's that cheaper brand that people be wearing, ethical. That's the shit. That's the material I'm talking about, ethical boxers. That's the material I'm talking about. I done had some compressed shorts like that, and I don't really like that. It's too compressed. I need something comfortable, man. So if you have any recommendation, put them down in the comments, for real. I'm gonna check them out, but that's really what I need. But in today's video, man, we talking about fulfillment, right? So fulfillment, to me, right, is basically what you always wanted to do, right? That goes back to knowing yourself, who you are, and knowing really what makes you happy, right? So fulfillment for me look like this. It may not be much and shit, but it look like this. It look like this, no bullshit. This is what fulfillment look like to me, right? A transparent moment. Remember when, and I'm gonna try to make this short. Matter of fact, let me get the motherfucking set in. I'm talking my motherfucking ears off and shit. The fuck going on, man? Let's go. So listen, right? I remember around 2018, right? Because I never had a job. But I will say I did have temp jobs. But to try to consider that kind of like a real job is not, because you don't get a 401k, you don't get everything that every other person do, benefits, none of that. You just assign a job site for 4 months to a year, right? So cool. I'm rocking and rolling, man, and I remember I had just started my franchise, bought into this shit, bam. I bought into this shit. I had just got the temp job for a year, right? And I remember she was going so good. I had a girlfriend. I'm making all this money. 2 income, no less than $3,000. With my franchise, I was making $3,000 starting off the first year. On top of that, I had this temp job making $19 an hour, 12-hour shift, Monday through Friday, sometimes extra, I guess, overtime, right? What I was bringing home, bro, was so lovely. Like, I think my first year, I ended up doing like $60,000, right? And I remember towards the end, I ain't gonna try to make this too long, towards the end of the contract, right? And this fresh out of, being reinserted back into society. Well, a couple years after that, you get what I'm saying? But no college degree, no none of that, making good money, right? My first year, 60, because I had my franchise, right? But, man, I ended that shit making 60 around the end of the year, right? They was trying to hire 2 people. And I was one of the candidates that they wanted to hire. right? Because I just worked so good, right? Like I worked for somebody else so well that they wanted to hire me, right? But to be honest with you, you had to keep showing me certain things because I really didn't want to catch on to it. Because in my head, I'm like, I'm not gonna be here long, right? But man, I remember having a feeling of disgust, like my stomach in knots and shit. Only because, right? Get back to fulfillment. Only because I knew deep down, yes, I will be making good money. And this was back in 2018. If I would have kept that shit, I would never be doing this. But I'll be set. My first year I made 60. Add 60 on top of 5 more years with no relationship. 5, 6 more years with no relationship. You just a single man. I probably would have been at 100 in the saving and playing with at least like 20 in the checking. So I say all that to say, like, the feeling I got, bro, was so unbearable. I'm just like, damn, I'm gonna give up on my dreams. I would not be fulfilled having money doing something I don't want to do. I remember that shit to this day, and I'm just like, why the fuck I'm feeling like this? I'll be in a good ass situation. But something deep down told me like I did not want to give up on my franchise, on my entrepreneur journey, on my not wanting to have a job journey. Like, bro, this shit is deep. This shit deep. That's how you really know if you made for this entrepreneurship. I'm like, damn, I'm about to be in this good ass position. I'm not even proud of myself. Luckily though, they didn't end up hiring me. And I started taking YouTube seriously. You know what I'm saying? One channel, I got monetized. The rest is history. You get what I'm saying? I never had a job since. You know, a temp job since. Let me re-say that. I never had a temp job since because a job again, 401k, temp job, you get assigned 4 months to a year. That's not really. You can't really calculate that money. You can't really calculate that type of money saying you're gonna live off a temp job and you don't get hired in. Come on, man, your ass dumb if you do that some dumb shit like that. I ain't gonna lie. You do some dumb shit like that, you crazy. Let's get it, bro. All the way up to your ear. Getting hot as hell in this bitch, man. God damn. Getting hot as hell. My bad, I was watching my surround. I'm like, what this nigga eyeing me for? Man? My bad, man. I'm still, sometimes lock in though. We gotta lock it. I think before, we were still trying to bring focus. Shit. Let's go. Let's go. Hey man, you gotta be dedicated with this shit though, bro. There's a lot I wanna say, but I can't, you know? Listen, the blue flavor is way better. These cool though, but the blue flavor is way better. And got 2 more sets of that, then it's over, bro. Fulfillment means so much to me than money, and that's how you know you one of them people like you just want to be fulfilled. Like it's not really about the money because you know I realized in that 1 year I'll be a slave to money, and I don't want to be a slave to money. Like that shit is way more thing in this life to try, to fail, to succeed, to be like, all right, cool. Got reinserted back. You know, I'm what, 21, 22 at the time. No, matter of fact, I'm like 23, my bad. I'm like 23, 24 at the time. There's no need to rush success. Like, cause trust me, bro, like without, even with the relationship, I made 60 and then I had 10,000 in my savings and I think 3,000 in my checking. And I'm gonna check on my phone and I'm gonna upload the screenshot. That was my first time. I'm like, damn, bro, this shit came. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all I'm really doing is just working. Like it was simple. In a sense, I just never wanted anything fast, easy. I like the challenge. 5+ years after that, with no relationship, I'd be up like, bro, I'd be up some shit. I'd be up some dog shit for real. But again, my routine, my lifestyle, I didn't have no time with this shit. You know what I'm saying? I had the money, no time. So it's all about what you really want to do. So I'm like, well, let me just put faith in this entrepreneurship. 10 years later, I'm taking it serious. The entrepreneurship as far as my franchise and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it paid me, it paid cribs off, it paid cars off, but I never took it serious to the point where it's like, I'm making $40,000 a month. And there's some people that bought the franchise making $40,000 a month. 40,000. So it's crazy, bro.